All right, the conversations right here on KTN Sunrise Live never stop. We could talk on and on and on, and that's why sometimes you find us in the middle of conversation. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. It's about 8:15 now, and we would like to switch gears just a little bit. Sheryl Sandberg, that everybody knows from Facebook, is, you know, the woman that everybody looks at and she can do it all. She has her family. She's a successful woman in terms of her career. And it's all about the lean-in philosophy that she has, you know, about women. And so today, before we even get into, oh, you know, women are their own worst enemies, we want to take a look at, I'm very tired of that cliche. And hopefully, in the next coming years, the more we have these conversations, the more it's going to be about the fact that there will be other things that women need to look to in terms of their success. So what holds them back in career growth, in leadership, in running their businesses successfully? What are the do's and don'ts? Today we're going to be discussing that, and we have Fridah Owinga with us, who's a passionpreneur. If you don't know what that is by now, look it up. I think she's the one who's added that word to the dictionary. Beyonce added bootylicious. Fridah Owinga adds passionpreneur to the dictionary. It's good to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
So Fridah, women in business, in career, in leadership, we have so many icons, and if we even move away from Sheryl Sandberg, who's you know, abroad, there's lots of women in Kenya too who are doing it and doing it well, right?
And they're coming up. One woman I really admire in Kenya is the Keroshe Breweries lady. I mean, look at her. Who would have thought that a woman would come up with something like that?
Right.
And more and more women are coming up. I noticed that when I do business coaching, as they're coming, you know, to just know, I want to transition from this career into this career or start my own business, there's still a little bit of fear. And I think it's fear mostly based on their individual mindset, coming from the traditional background of what men have been believed to be and what women have been believed to be. And sometimes you kind of feel, if I'm coming out of that, you know, box, for lack of a better word to call it, will others see me as manga?
Yeah, that's right.
Or, you know, because women care a lot about what others think about them. And I think that is one great stopper for us. We care too much about being liked.
Right.
And that stops us in making decisions and stuff.
Okay, all right. So the challenges, and of course, there's lots of Kenyan examples, and we'll get to the do's and don'ts in a moment. But there's a lot of women in Kenya now, the savvy, the millennials, as we're calling them. I think they're on the front, the cover of Time magazine this week. Yes. Just talking about this new breed of young people. There's a lot of women now who believe that it's either one or the other. So I can either be very good at my career, meaning I forsake everything else in my personal life, or I can choose to be a wife and a mother. And then again, there's the issue of, oh, you're a wife and a mother, oh.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, there's nothing
better to
about
do.
being a wife and a mother.
Yes, but it's always that these two are parallel and cannot happen, you know, together. Let's talk about that. Do you find that a lot when you speak to women?
There are some women who believe that they need to be a mother and wife first and then later do the career thing. But I've also found sometimes that women who have done that grow up resenting their families, resenting their husbands, because they look back in life and they think they have nothing to show for it. But, well, they have their children to show for it. They have their happy home to show for it. But they feel there's this void. You know, they feel like so-and-so has done it and they also have children. I believe that what we need to do is strike a balance. And just like you're speaking earlier, you say that every time people have different reference books that they refer to, we should refer to the Constitution when you're looking at constitutional matters. For me, a big reference book is the Bible. And sometimes Proverbs 31 woman looks like, whoa, that woman way out there. You know, but we're told how she wakes up in the morning, she gets her kids ready, and she also does these other biasharas on the side. So I believe that God did not create women just to be, you know, the cook and the cleaner and, you know, all those other things. But she can also, she has a creative mind. She can also work. It's just a question of balancing. And going back to Sheryl Sandberg again, she says she leaves work at 5:30 to be able to be at home with her kids. And then they do homework, dinner, puts the kids to bed, and then she goes back online to do her work. So I think it's finding a rhythm that suits you. Finding a rhythm that works for you and your family. Maybe if you can't go back home at 5:30. In Kenya, it will probably be impossible because of traffic.
Yes.
You can choose a day of the week that you spend most with your family. You know, you can choose a day of the week that you spend with your family. Like my kids are grown, and you know, I spend the weekend with the little one. I spend Friday with the middle one, and then the oldest one, we are always together doing stuff because he's in between school. So it's a question of doing a personal audit. I always say if something is not working in life, do a personal audit and find out what is going on right now, what's the ideal, what are the changes that we need to make, speak to the people who are involved, and then come up with a plan. Because I believe that you can do both, and you'll be happier doing both. Because if you just do one, you'll start feeling you're being cheated on the other side.
All right. And that just goes right into my next question, which is, I don't want to say what are the dangers, but what happens with one woman that says, okay, I'll be a stay-at-home mom, which is a very honorable, you know, passion in life, if you ask me. It's great if you choose to stay home and take care of, but what are the dangers of saying, I'll do just one thing and then do it very well. I'll concentrate on my career. Who needs a family? Who needs a man? And we've heard that from women. You know, I don't need a man, and you know, I've got my career and I've got my money and I've got everything going. That's right. Don't need any kids, don't need anyone. And then, of course, there's, you know, having the one-track mind. What will be the consequences, or what sort of person is that decides to choose one and go the full length with it?
For lack of a better word, I hate to say it, I think they're skewed, and they may not realize it in the season that they're thinking like that, but as they grow older, they'll have regrets. They'll wish they had kids. And you see, for women also, it's only until a certain age that you can have kids, then it becomes dangerous for you. So I think it's important to be objective. We are very emotional, and emotions are fickle, and they come and go. So sometimes when you're thinking like that, you're going through one wave of emotion or another. But I think it's important to think objectively in life, you know. So, and then know that God created man and woman to be together for a reason. So He's the one who created you. He knows that. So coming up with something different to defy that only means that at some point in life you'll be, you won't be fulfilled. You won't be content. Okay, so I want to say it's crazy.
Okay. Describe to me the woman at the workplace who's doing very well. She's risen up the ranks, but that's all. One-track mind, like we've been talking about, and has completely blocked out the fact that I have another life outside of my career and everything. Describe to us what sort of woman that is.
That woman may look happy at work, but in the evening, she's crying or she's getting high, the truth be told. And I have met some women who are like that. You know, they feel like, Fridah, I have a good job, I have the right salary, I drive the right car, I live in the right neighborhood, but there's something missing. But in the eyes of everybody else, people are like, I wish I was like so-and-so. And they have no idea what is going on with this person, because they have spent so much time building this career and not socializing or just developing networks. And see, socializing and developing networks, you can just have girls that you go out with and have a drink, you know, people that you visit on the weekend. You can be part of a group that you go hiking on the weekend, or you go on holidays together, so that your life is balanced. I think one of the reasons that are cited for women not making it to the top is their failure to balance life and work. And life is the other things that happen outside your career, okay? Having fun. Men have fun. They go out and get high every evening. They go and do golf. They do nyama choma. So women need to find something to do.
Okay, all right. Yes, and I like that you said that one of the reasons that perhaps women don't succeed is that lack of balance. Yes. And that's very important, I think, you know, for the holistic individual. And that's what we're talking about. Okay, let's discuss the do's of the successful woman, the do's of Tabitha Karanja, for example, and so many other women, you know, who are doing it all and doing it well.
Key thing, balance. Number one, before balance, clarity. Okay. What do you want in life? For yourself, not what your friends are saying, not what you have seen somebody else doing, but for yourself as a woman. Sit down with yourself and find out, what do I want in life? Okay, and then what will it take for me to get that, and what's the strategy I'm going to do? You know, I'm going to apply to make sure I get it. Oftentimes, again, because of our emotional side, we tend to think, I want to be like Yvonne, and then we jump out and start, trying to be like Yvonne, without considering what are Yvonne's strengths, what are her skill sets, what does she have in her background for experience that is making her even live that life. So I think the first thing is obtaining clarity by defining, what do I want in life? Many people don't answer that question. What do I want in life?
Isn't it shocking that we go through life not knowing? And we just sort of experiment and bungle a little bit. And, it's like groping in the dark, isn't it? Don't know where you're going, and, anywhere will just get you anywhere.
And that's what really makes us discontent. And then we keep jumping from one thing to another. When you determine, this is what I want in life, these are my values, these are my goals, and this is my vision, then you're able to say no to things that don't align to that, and you continue saying yes to things that align to that. And you can even measure, am I getting close to it or not? Am I vying off? Do I need to get back? It really helps you. It really helps to put you on track. So the first thing I'd say is obtaining clarity, and then having a balance. Having a balance for a woman is understanding you're a woman, you'll never be a man. I don't believe in women who say that whatever a man can do, I can do better. We were not created to compete against men. That is lack of ambition. Okay,
I like that a lot. I like that.
It's like a marathon runner running with a sprinter.
Yes,
it's totally different. Okay, so then you spend a lot of your time trying to be like this man. Maybe you cut your hair, you wear trousers. You're wasting time.
Yes.
Okay, let the man be a man. As a woman, who are you? What do you want to be? Enjoy being a woman. You were created a woman to add that femininity here. And you find that leadership teams, boards that have a good mix of men and women, are able to make better decisions. Because there's something that a woman brings that a man cannot bring.
Right.
Men are very transactional. Women are more emotional. And that emotional side of them is good when it comes to developing relationships, with other stakeholders, with strategic alliances. So they kind of soften that transactional part that men just want to go straight to the bottom line. So if they're in a board, they help to, that mix helps to, helps the group or the team to come to better decisions. So if you're in there also trying to be a man, then it's lost. Right. The value that you're bringing on board is lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So clarity, balance, understanding who we are as women.
And just celebrating that.
Yes. Okay. And not competing. Because, yeah, for sure, we won't be the same.
You can't win that race.
You can't. Absolutely. Created differently in the mind, physically, emotionally, even with the way that we handle issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very powerful statement. Men and women were not created to compete. I really like that quite a bit. All right, so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about clarity, we're talking about balance, and we're talking about understanding who we are and what it is we bring to the table. Okay, so these are all the things that women who are winning, that winning women actually get to do. So this is their understanding. How do they conduct themselves, in the boardroom, at the office, that makes them successful?
In the boardroom, women have, because of our cultural setting, women are the ones who serve the tea and bring the food. As a woman, when you go to the boardroom, you've gone there because of the value that you bring. If there's tea in the corner, let everybody serve themselves. If there's somebody who's going to serve, let them come and serve. You're not in the boardroom to serve tea.
Oh, we do that a lot.
Yes, we do that.
Can I get you something?
No, I'm not getting you nothing, Yvonne. Okay. Now then, I'm not getting, no.
I like that, yeah.
And I think that is one of the, because so then the minute you do that, the perception of you has become mother, mama, and then you even find now people start referring to you mama. Me, I tell people I'm Fridah, I'm not mama. I'm mama to 3 boys.
Yes.
Clement, Junior, and Robert.
Who can call
the rest of you, I'm Fridah.
Okay. All right.
So because the minute you do that, then they now start looking at you for the nurturing side. They don't see your business side.
Okay.
You've just created another perception.
So this woman that goes into the boardroom is assertive without necessarily being overbearing, but she sits there and recognizes, I deserve to be here just like anybody else.
Assertive, not aggressive. Just arrive, greet everybody, shake their hands, ask them how they're doing, and take your place at your seat.
Okay.
If there's tea and you're told, welcome to tea, go and get your cup of tea and come and sit down. Don't have a guy telling you, mix me one or something. I'd really love to, but it's okay. You just come and help yourself.
Yeah.
And don't be rude, like, I'm not your maid, or just politely ask them, let them know that it's okay. You can come and serve yourself so that you can get it right or something.
Okay.
And then just sit down elegantly.
All right. Okay.
And then do your makeup in the bathroom. You know, at the beginning we come and then we are there.
I know.
Okay, so they just think, this blonde, what is she doing here?
Exactly.
We create that for ourselves. So all that, because you don't see guys trying to comb their hair in the boardroom or anything like that. They come ready. So bottom line, when you're going to the boardroom, when you're going to work, go ready to work.
Okay.
Put on all your frills, whatever you want, wherever it is that you put them on, and then show up to work.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Some small things, but that just makes such a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about how the woman dresses at the workplace for success, because this is important as well.
There's how you dress when you're going to work, and there's how you dress when you're going to meet your better half or your significant other, whatever you're called.
Yes.
They're called. And I always say less is more. The less skin you show, the more respected you are. Okay, so
sorry, I just need you to say that again.
I say
probably a little loud. I don't think
I say
all of Kenya heard you on that one.
I say less is more.
Okay.
The less skin you show, the more respected you are. So if you're going to a workplace, the fashion has gone really crazy, and yes, call me old-fashioned and traditional and everything, but I always tell ladies, if you look in the mirror and you ask your friend, Yvonne, is this tight? Is this tight? It is tight.
Okay.
That's why you're asking.
Right.
Is it too revealing? Yes, it is. So
yes.
you may want to change it. And the idea is not because you're righteous than the other.
Yeah.
You just don't want to distract anybody.
Okay.
You want people to stay focused on the business of the day. And men are visual, and if you're showing more skin, you will attract their attention. And then at the end of the day, as much as you attract their attention, they won't respect you.
Okay, and they'll be focused on, I hear they're called strongholds.
On the strong, yeah.
Oh my God.
So what do you want them to focus on? On the business of the day or on the strongholds?
Okay, so dressing, demeanor, the small little things like the etiquette of, how you put on your makeup, and like you say, come ready.
Come ready to work. Ready. Don't start putting, we do that. We put our makeup on. I don't know why people do that, but just come ready. Because that gives you, for lack of a better word, people start thinking of you as a blonde. They think of blondes. And I'm sorry if you're a blonde out there. Stereotyping.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded of, a particular member of parliament who was very assertive in that. We're not blondes.
You see?
I challenge you to tell me who that is. Let's see how well you know your news. We're not blondes, we're not blondes, we're not blondes. She said that about 3 times.
Wow. Maybe she is a blonde. Okay. You see, the thing is, if you have to keep telling people, I'm the man of this house, I'm the man of this house, then there's a problem. There's something that you're doing that is causing people to not look at you as the man. So you need to find, instead of pronouncing all the time, I am this or I am the other, find out what are the behaviors you may be exhibiting that are not promoting who you are.
That force you to keep on justifying. Do you think women do that a lot? We explain ourselves more here than in our actions.
Yes.
And in the way we present ourselves, because women are constantly saying, I am a woman and I deserve to be here, and
there's no deserve. Then just be there. Just be. Okay, just be there. Show the value you bring. Speak up when you need to speak up. Don't explain yourself. Especially when people are starting business, they have this thing of, oh, we just started and we're really looking for your support, and then you look like you need help. You look very needy. Women are good at that, and not to be so hard on the women, but it's just that we are coming out more, but we need to come out more with the words that we say, the behaviors that we exhibit, as opposed to saying, this is who we are. Just be that person.
Okay. Let it speak through your actions.
Absolutely.
Rather than having to explain yourself away. All right. Women are made different from men. That is very clear. Women are more emotional than men are. This can sometimes hamper decision-making processes and in just general behavior and demeanor because of the way we were created. Let's talk about that. Yes, it can hamper, but it can also be an advantage.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a moment.
I think it can be an advantage, especially in networking. And networking is very key because networking is cultivating relationships. 97% of business we get is through referrals, word of mouth, people who know us, people who like what we have done. So the relationship aspect is very important in networking. Men are very transactional. You're from TV, how can I get on your show? But a woman will still like, oh, how are you? Maybe which school did you go to? Are you married? So, and it's better because you'll find that this guy is being too forward, So in networking, that helps. So on the other side, the negative side of these emotions that we have is that we have capacity to carry a lot of baggage and we don't move on quickly. Some of us move on faster than the others. We need to understand in a business environment, you don't take everything personally.
Oh, we do.
But we always do. And then we go and tell our friend. So we tell Nancy and Mary, and then when Nancy and Mary sees Njoroge, they're also treating him badly because of what he you see, we need to stop that. Right. Okay, we need to separate what happened between Fridah and Njoroge to what happened to, from Nancy and Mary.
Right.
Okay, because it was a business transaction. Maybe he had his reason why he didn't choose this company or whatever, but don't start feeling, oh, it's because I'm a woman or because this. Shake hands, move on. Okay. Next time you meet the person, greet them. And you gave me permission to say this, so I will say it.
Yes, it's a very good example, and I really do want you to share this one.
I enjoy politics, and I observe and learn a lot of leadership lessons. And I was looking at COD and Jubilee, and if the COD were women, there's no way they would have gone to State House so soon.
No.
To shake hands with Uhuru and Ruto after, they believe that was their victory. And no, they'd still be moping over it and moping over it.
And that he took what was mine.
Yes, and then they'd have told all their friends and they'd be having this morning party. But see, these guys have moved on. They came back from South Africa, went, had tea together.
Right. And not to say that there's still no undertones there, but men are just a little bit better at handling some of these things.
Absolutely. Because like even at home when, people who are married, the husband comes and tells them, this is what so-and-so did. And then the following day, the husband will move on, but the woman is still looking at that guy badly. And then the guy is like, okay, what's going on?
Yes.
Say, how can you even talk to him?
Yeah.
Move on.
Right.
Move on.
And that hampers the decisions that women make.
It hampers the decisions we make because now we'll start thinking, like let's say now COD and Jubilee. I can do that. It's going to help Jubilee. Not looking at now, okay, Jubilee is the one that's in the government and it's for the good of the country. Okay. No, it's for Jubilee. It's not Jubilee right now, it's the country, it's government. Right. Okay, so get over it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, women don't do that. And that just
We're not
definitely...
good at doing that.
Okay.
We're not good at doing that. So we carry a lot of baggage. And of course, when we're going to make decisions through the lens of baggage, then we don't just make objective decisions. We are likely to skew things up.
Okay, all right, yeah, that is true. Let's move to the negatives now, the things that women do that absolutely kill their careers, kill their businesses, and kill their rise up that ladder, into leadership. And it could be in politics, it could be within the corporate sector, or leadership in society in general.
There are a couple of things, and I'll mention them, then you can choose which one you want to write, because I don't want to forget. Lack of confidence, because oftentimes when they're writing, there's this thing in their mind that this is a guy's role, so there's a lack of confidence, and then maybe they think, oh, people will think I slept my way to the top and this and that. So there are all these conversations going in our mind that erodes our confidence. Okay. And then the other one is lack of mentoring. We need to balance between perfectionism and excellence. Perfectionism is, like wanting a really, like you see how we say, either I'm going to be the career woman or I'm going to be the family woman. I can't be both. You can be both. Just find a rhythm and then be both. And then one other thing that I do want to forget is we are poor negotiators. Because like, let's say you've been offered the job and then you asked how much salary you want, you ask for too little. Because you feel if I ask for too much, they won't take me. Yeah. But they already called you.
Yes, and a man goes out there and quotes.
Yeah. And then that's why they end up having higher salaries than us. We are poor negotiators. And that all roots are from lack of confidence and lack of mentoring, lack of hearing another woman who tells us that I went and I asked for X amount, then knowing that I can actually ask for that amount. Research shows that 57% of men versus 7% of women negotiate for higher pay. Look at that. Yeah. So they ask for more. women tend to think, wow, this is a miracle that I'm even here, I'm happy, you know.
So I'll just sit in my little corner and be quiet and not cause too much fuss?
And negotiate, and then also because they want to be liked and they care about what this person will think. Maybe they'll think I'm too greedy or too, you know. So ask. The only reason we don't have everything that we want is because we're afraid to ask. And then we're afraid to hear no. Even if you hear, you have nothing to lose. What if you hear yes?
Yeah.
So negotiate.
The worst that could happen is your boss says no.
Yeah.
But you still carry on with work.
But you still carry on with work.
And he knows in the back of his mind that so-and-so,
you
know,
they'll put it...
So-and-so is, seems to be awake to the fact that, they're worth more.
They'll absolutely take a note of that. So the caring too much about being liked is, I think, is a big obstacle for us.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So there's all of these now, caring about being liked, not being good negotiators. How do we become better negotiators?
The mentoring piece, if the women who are already at the top would be more open to mentoring other women, I think it would help a lot. As we hear their stories, where they started and the things they have asked for and gotten away with it, then it would give us the courage to actually begin seeing that, you mean to say I can do that, you know? And then we can press in more. And then sometimes also women, I know you said we shouldn't say this cliche, but we are our worst enemies.
Okay.
We don't want to learn from another woman. But I think it's really great to learn from another woman because, you know, she's kind of walking the path that you want to walk on, and she has gone ahead. What did she do? What were her challenges? What are some things that she did that she can tell me so that I don't do them? You know, so finding those people, whether it is a mentor face-to-face or thank God for the internet now.
Yes.
You can have a mentor, you know, just by reading somebody's blog or following them on Twitter and knowing some of the things that you should do and you should not do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's following them, and you know, I like that you can sort of be a mentee, whether or not they're willing to. But let's talk about the mentorship process for a moment. Do you think there's enough women in Kenya specifically, you know, who come up and say, "Look, I've done this," and you know, the whole thing about women in leadership and women bosses and that sort of thing.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad that they don't pull up enough women with them along the way as they rise to the top. Do you think women in leadership and who have succeeded should be doing that more, saying, you know, come?
I think they should do that more. And there's one, I admire the women of KTN Standard Group. You know how you do the Eve Girl thing and the mothers and daughters, moms and daughters thing. So it really helps the younger girls who are coming up to see that I can make it. It gives them hope. And I wish there were more groups like that of women that would come up. Some schools now, the alumni, like Kenya High, we have an alumni, and we also try to go back to the school and talk to the girls. I wish there was more. I think there can still be more. What happens is the women at the top seem to be busy, you know, and I think that one of the things we should be busy doing is mentoring those that are, you know, are coming up, so that there'll be more of us at the top there. So there's this thing, I don't know how true it is that, you know, we are busy, but, you know, we have all these people working for us. So, but anyway, let's not get into that too much. So I wish there was more. And in as much as we help the girl in school, but there's also this middle level girl who's already at work, who's already in career and is looking to go higher. So we also need to think of that group.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So not just the ones in school, but the ones who are just starting out in their careers or in the middle of that.
Yes.
And they definitely need that mentorship to take them to the top. Okay. And I think that point is very clear on that issue. Even as we talk about this now, I'd like us to close our discussion and just to wrap up and recap a lot of what it is, the characteristics of that woman who is successful. And by the way, as we define success, I think it would also be very important to talk about that. We're not saying she's successful because she drives the biggest car and earns the biggest salary and, you know, has the corner office, which is nice. And
very
yes,
nice.
Those are, some of, I think, should we say the symptoms or the signs
the
of
characteristics or brownie points?
Yes. But, you know, when we're defining a successful woman, let's first of all define her, and then let's define what it is that she's been able to do to get to where she is.
I think the first key thing, going back on clarity, she's a woman with a vision. So that means there's something that is driving her, that is bigger than her. And because she's a woman with a vision, she will take other people with her. And it is the realization of this vision that makes her successful. So we can say that success is the realization of a predetermined goal. You know, so because as long as she has the car, she has the right house, but she's not happy, she's like, okay, what next? I have all these things. Then really she's not successful. She's successful if she wants to make this kind of impact, okay, and visibly it can be seen that that impact is being made beyond driving the car and having the office and all that, yes. And it has to touch other lives.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think your success is nothing if you're the only one benefiting from it.
It can't be that way.
All right. Thank you very much. Fridah Owinga, who's a passionpreneur, and that website is www.passiontoprofit.co. It is .co, not .com, not .co.ke, it's .co. So just in case you're wondering, when we had that across our screens, it's no error there. And she's just been talking about women in leadership, the characteristics of the women who have succeeded, the women who are powerful, and I think that it has to go beyond yourself. We thank Fridah Owinga very much for her time, for always being available for us here on Sunrise Live. Okay, I want to get into some of the feedback that you've been sending in for this discussion. Let's see. Okay, all right. Henga Mitumra, you say, indeed, women must understand this fact. We will always be different, but good together, powerful. I like that. Ruto, you say, indeed, men and women are not created to compete, but that women should be submissive to men, yes, in the home. That is fine. That's okay, but I'm not going to be making your tea for you. I think one of my cameramen is looking at me. You think I'm going to get you tea? No. That's not going to happen today. And then we have, wow, okay. We have been live tweeting this one. Do a personal audit and find out what is ideal. Stella Manena, of course, quoting one of that. And then, of course, from our previous discussion, Makodi saying, thanks for the great discussion on devolution. You are still watching KTN, your channel of choice. Thank you very much. Those have been our discussions this morning. Indeed, that has been KTN Sunrise Live. We thank you so much for being a part of the show. Tomorrow is yet another day. Do you want to tease a little bit of what's coming? Yeah, well, okay. All right. We will be talking about resources. Devolution of resources, you know, distribution of funds, and in particular, CDF. That's very important. How does CDF factor in and figure in with everything that's happening within the devolved system of government? All of that with the Institute for Social Accountability. All of that is tomorrow, so you want to stay with us for that and so much more. Listen, have a very good day. I just want to leave you with a quote. I know we don't have a graphic of it, but it's from a lot of the things that Fridah Owinga has said this morning, and I think the one most powerful one is this one. Men and women were not created to compete. Just be yourself. Have a great day ahead. My name is Yvonne Okwara. Bye-bye.